magic anywhere in this part of the world, it certainly is found in Arizona. Several years ago, when I was dangling my legs over the Mogollon Rim, watching a hawk soar above the forest below, and kind of looked both east and west along the rim and wondered how far it stretched, and determined to walk the length of that rim. It ended up being a 450-mile walk.
And then Dale Shewalter took an even longer walk, 750 miles, across Arizona. This is Dale Shewalter's first trail ride on the Arizona Trail. It makes him remember another night like this, when the Arizona Trail was born. The idea burned into his mind when he walked the whole length of the state, and it wouldn't let him go. He visualized a route people could take spanning the state, on foot or on horseback, seeing Arizona one step at a time, all the way from the Mexican border to Utah. Then, one night,
and was up on Coronado Peak watching the moon rise, and I think we had a taste of tequila with us at that time. Sitting there at Coronado Peak watching the moon come up and looking south and east and west along our border with Mexico, and feeling the significance of the place because of the passage of the Europeans into what is now Arizona. Became very apparent that was a place the Arizona Trail needed to begin.
I'm sure you share the feeling at this point. You get a feeling of reverence for this area, and it's significant in that somewhere in here the Coronado expedition passed through on its way to find the 7 cities of Cibola. Thinking about the Arizona Trail and the route that it would take, I envisioned myself as a Spaniard, perhaps many hundreds of years ago, coming into what's now Arizona for the first time. When I lived in Tucson back in the early 70s, I used to hike quite a bit in the Santa Rita Mountains and the Rincons and Catalinas. And looking from one peak to another, I began to think, well, how could I get there from here?
Shewalter is working full-time and already has lots of people asking him when it will be formally finished.
Say, well, by the year 2000, I'll be happy to see it in place. And then more often than not, there's been somebody point to a 3-year-old daughter or an 8-year-old son, and they'll say, well, that's good, because in 10 years, that young man or that young lady and I are going to be walking the length of Arizona. And that really does a lot for me, and it says what the trail's all about.
Which is what?
Being able to experience Arizona, the diversity and the beauty of our landscapes and our cultural history, one step at a time.
And I used to roam those mountains as a kid, and so here I was, right here, and I felt both joyous and guilty, because it should be shared, this great, fantastic adventure of being here in these mountains. Then I heard about Dale Shewalter, his dream, his vision of an Arizona Trail. I was hoping for those magic words like a Cody Trail or Orca Ridge Trail, and I heard them.
So now, the old corrals need to be fixed up, ready for horses again, for riders taking the routes through this area.
Trails have been with man throughout the ages, and from my point of view, of course, horses, that's one of my main interests. Man and horses have operated together on trails for 80,000 years, and it's sort of built into the genes. It's one huge last chance for people to partake in more than just the Old West. I mean, partake in what man is, what we've done throughout the ages. Go on trails, be someplace, be in touch with the land. You guys should ride no closer than about 30 feet, because Gabe here goes crazy if a rattler goes off.
Fortunately, this point will be a major terminus for people doing a passage on the Arizona Trail, say from Superior to Roosevelt, or beginning on the other side of the canyon, perhaps all the way to Pine. But for the through users, that is, people that are going a long distance on the Arizona Trail, it is definitely a problem. It's going to take a lot of communication to come up with some perhaps creative alternatives in a way that we might be able to cross this canyon. Millions of years ago, there was an ocean from the east and an ocean from the west, and over what's now Arizona. And this was a resistant ridge, or actually an island among that, or in that ocean.
This area, where mountain ranges fall away like veils in the distance, is called a transition zone.
So if you can kind of get in your mind this the Colorado Plateau, dancing with the desert. In planning the trail route, we've had to consider safety in terms of crossing bodies of water. And the East Verde River is not terribly wide. In some parts it's deep. Fortunately, we've got some rather wide terraces where people will be able to cross and shouldn't have to have more than knee-deep water to deal with. Some other spots, like the Gila River, are a greater consideration because of a narrow channel where we've got certain times of the year water would be flowing well over an average person's head.
But here, you and the water meet and then go your separate ways. The water flows to the Verde. You head up the Mogollon Rim. By Pine in the Rim Country, there's a window to slip from roadway to trail.
In the parking lot here, we've got a great facility. We've got ample room for parking. Vehicles can pull around. We have equestrian facilities and a small corral and hitching posts, restroom facilities, and already a well-established trail. And that's what's been our major emphasis, is linking up these good existing trails with our back road connectors to help us meet our goal of a non-motorized pathway that goes the length of the state.
While the trail, for the most part, dodges civilization, it comes into town here because there's a city trail network that ties perfectly into the border-to-border ribbon.
This area that we're in now, as much of the Southwest was home to a great many people a long, long time ago, and many old cultures that lived in the Southwest occupied sites very close to us now. They're planning to develop and promote portions of their trail for motorized use, which may be fine and a valid form of recreation for some people, but it differs greatly from what we're trying to establish here in Arizona.
So a trailblazer's work is never done, but there is time to rest, reflect on what's being accomplished. The trail isn't just connecting places, it's connecting people who, regardless of where they come from or what they look for, answer that same call to come and see. People who know that finishing isn't the best part.
We started down in the Huachucas and made our way up to the north. Whoops, north is a tough one. We traveled with horse and mule and used them for all they were worth.
It's the pleasure of the process itself, and knowing that the same spark burns in the others around you, that creates the feeling Explorer Powell described, sitting with his men in a canyon camp, as so sweet it's almost a grief. So ends a day on the Arizona Trail.
And I'll tell you the next place I'll go. I'll hike on the Arizona Trail from Utah to Old Mexico. From Utah to Old Mexico. From Utah to Old Mexico. I'll travel on the Arizona Trail from Utah to Old Mexico.